इम्प्रूव रीडिंग स्किल सीरीज में वेलकम। इस सीरीज में लाउड रीडिंग के थ्रू आप अपनी रीडिंग फास्ट एंड इम्प्रूव कर सकते हैं। अगर आपको इसका एक्सप्लेनेशन देखना है तो आप स्टडी मिनटों में इस चैनल पर फुल एक्सप्लेनेशन ऑफ चैप्टर एंड क्लास डालकर सर्च करें। आपको हमारे चैनल पर सभी चैप्टर्स के डिटेल एक्सप्लेनेशन के वीडियो मिल जाएंगे। Excuses, a skit. Characters: Ritesh, a school student; Mrs. Sen, his class teacher. Scene: a classroom. Ritesh: May I come in, madam? Mrs. Sen: Now, don't you think you are early? Ritesh: Pardon, ma'am. Mrs. Sen: I mean for the second period. You are too early for the second period. Ritesh: I am so sorry, ma'am. I am really sorry. I started well in time from home. You won't believe what happened. Mrs. Sen: we will see. Let's hear the story first. What happened? Nothing short of an earthquake, I am sure. Ritesh: No, ma'am, really, ma'am. Honestly, ma'am. Mrs. Sen: Go ahead, go ahead. Ritesh: I was walking to school as usual. I was halfway down the narrow lane that leads to the market. Suddenly, I heard a scream from the main road. Mrs. Sen: And of course, you had to investigate. Ritesh: Yes, madam. I had to find out if someone needed help. And sure enough, there was this person lying near the pavement. He was groaning with pain. Mrs. Sen: So, you took him to Dr. Jadhav? Ritesh: No, ma'am, I did not get the chance. Just as I reached that man, another man came running out of the shop there with a packet in his hand, and the shopkeeper also ran out shouting, Chor, Chor, catch him. Mrs. Sen: Amazing. Quite a handful for you to deal with, and all at once. What did you do then? Ritesh: Yes, ma'am. But the most amazing thing happened then. That man near the pavement, he too got up and began to run with the thief. Without losing a moment, I ran after them. Mrs. Sen: And then you caught them and took them to the police station. Ritesh: We could not do that, ma'am. They just vanished around the corner. All this happened so fast. Mrs. Sen: Then why are you late? Ritesh: That's not all. I realized that I had left my bag at the shop in the mad rush, so I ran back to get it. Mrs. Sen: And it was not there. Ritesh: No, ma'am, it was there all right. But there was a huge, hairy, brown dog sitting on it. I did not know what to do. Mrs. Sen: Interesting. A dog on a bag in a shop. Ritesh: Yes, ma'am. Even the shopkeeper was surprised. He did not know where the dog had come from, how that dog growled. We tried all kinds of things to make it move, whistling and clapping and showing him the stick, but he would not budge, and I could not leave without my school bag. Mrs. Sain, but I see that you got your bag finally. Ritesh, yes, ma'am. Finally, the shopkeeper gave me some biscuits. I offered the biscuits to the dog and lured him away from the bag. Mrs. Sain, okay, so let's say that accounts for 15 minutes. Ritesh, but there is more, ma'am. The poor dog began to follow me to school. It looked so poor and lonely and small. Mrs. Sain, small? Did you say small? Ritesh, I mean young ma'am. It was big in size, but it was only a puppy. Really. And it looked lost. Maybe it was looking for its mother or owner, and I thought it was asking for my help. So I began a enquire with the other shopkeepers and passers by, but nobody could tell and could not leave it behind. Mrs. Sain, and then you found the owner? Who was it? Ritesh, that's the funny part, ma'am. The puppy itself found the owner. It saw someone across the road and just bounded towards the person. I was so relieved. Then I turned and ran straight to school. Mrs. Sain, good boy. Now that your good deeds are done, there is something else you can do. There is a story writing competition coming up. Would you like to send an entry? Ritesh, who, ma'am? Me, ma'am? Now I would not know what to write. I am not good at making up stories.
अगर आपको अपनी रीडिंग स्पीड बढ़ानी है तो हमारे चैनल पर इम्प्रूव रीडिंग स्किल्स भी अवेलेबल है। आप चैनल पर जाके प्लेलिस्ट भी देख सकते हैं। इम्प्रूव रीडिंग स्किल से आपकी इंग्लिश इम्प्रूव होगी। आपको वर्ड्स का करेक्ट प्रोनाउंसिएशन सुनने को मिलेगा। थैंक्स फॉर वॉचिंग।